we became friends with Oceano like pretty early on at that point, and we basically found out they were in drop B, so we're like, you know what, we're gonna go to drop A. And so we went down another step, and we're like, all right, you know what, we're gonna be the heaviest local band now. Like there's gonna be, you know, no one's gonna be as heavy.
Real quick before getting into today's episode, just wanted to shout out a few quick things. First of all, we have a Patreon. For as low as $1.50 a month, you can get early access to these episodes as well as your name in the credits. And with the $5 tier, you can gain access to member-only channels in our Discord server, as well as be a part of the group calls that Yan and I do every second Friday. Secondly, we have merch. 2 designs that we absolutely love. You can find those over at indiemerchstore.com. And last but not least, we do these podcast recordings live on Twitch. So if you want to be a part of the conversation, see these as they happen. We do those every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. EST. Yeah, that's it. Links to everything I just mentioned will be in the description, along with links to our Discord server and our other socials. That's it. That's all I got to plug. Enjoy the episode. Ben, my man, welcome to the show, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We are doing good, my man. I mean, it's been cooking for quite some times, right? So
yes, sir.
You know how much we're excited. Everybody is, by the way, you know, our entire community, everybody. So it's an honor, and I mean it, not only for and I already punished you like crazy when I made the video about you guys, but
how long did you guys talk on the phone for?
Probably a long time, right?
It was only 6 hours.
It's not too bad, actually. For me, it's pretty. If it's 6
rookie
hours,
numbers,
it's not too bad. It could have been. I'm telling you, Ben, it could have been longer. Could have been worse. So
absolutely,
at least there's that. There's that. No, but seriously, I mean, we're both big fans of Jerome, but also Monsters, to be quite honest. Like,
thank you.
So everything you did, basically. So
appreciate it.
I mean, quick aside, was one of the first kind of graphical, all the overlays and all our graphics and everything for the podcast was a rip of the Righteous Dead Monsters album. We went for the black and gray with blood splatters and broken glass. That was our thing for a minute. So
yeah,
shameless rip.
The Righteous Dead, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It's okay. I allow it.
It's too late now. Yeah. But yeah, dude. It's cool to have you on here. Like Yan alluded to, it's been a minute since we've been talking about doing this. But I think it's a really cool time right now because there's actually so much going on with for sure with Jerome. But also with Monsters, coincidentally today.
Yeah, shout out Frankie Pieri in the chat, the vocalist of Monsters.
There we go. So why don't you we could kind of start there. What was the big news today? What you got going on with Monsters, this band that hasn't existed in 12 years?
Yeah, so today we announced we are direct support for Oceano's last official show. It's in Chicago at WC Social Club. It's Oceano, Monsters, The Last 10 Seconds of Life, one unannounced band, and a local band called I Bet.
Such insane. A dope lineup. Such a cool lineup. But how'd that kind of come about? Just the talks of Monsters getting the band back together for the show type of thing. Like where'd that kind of come up?
It's funny. Frankie actually called me at work like 5 months ago at this point, which is kind of crazy to say. And yeah, he just dropped it on me, and it's kind of wild, and I don't mind talking about it, but my relationship with the band didn't end the best back in 2009, and we didn't talk for almost a decade, and then I'm too old for that. So, just got over that and we made up, and Frankie came out to my old band Vile Secretion. We played our first show a couple years back now, and yeah, Frankie came out to the show. I hadn't seen him since Monsters, which was a trip. And yeah, oh man, all right, shout out in the chat, Wi-Fi internet. That is the bass player of Jerome. That is Kevin.
Hey,
let's go.
Get him. Oh yeah. So yeah, so Frankie hit me up about it, and I'll tell you right now, it's pretty crazy. I hadn't seen those guys since 2009, and we jammed. The first time we jammed, we literally played the set almost flawless, which was just nuts. And yeah, it's super cool. And we even looked at each other after we were done, and we're like, that just happened? I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome.
Beginner's luck.
Yeah, basically. And it's even crazier because the drummer Tony, man, he hasn't played drums since whenever they did that last reunion show. I think it was in 2014, I don't know, 2013, 2014 or something. It was a couple years back. They did a show in the city, and I don't remember with who because I was not a part of it, but now I am. So that's all that matters.
That's so cool, man. Congrats on that.
Yeah.
That show itself is obviously, it's Oceano's last show too.
Yes.
Which is kind of a cool thing. We were talking behind the scenes as well. A couple members in Oceano that you've been in bands with as well. So what's the relationship there between the guys in Monsters and Jerome and Oceano? There's a whole trifecta of stuff there.
Yeah.
Right?
So I mean, honestly, at this point, it's like a Chicago music kind of staple that everybody's been in each other's band at one point. But yeah, sorry, what was the question again?
Well, I mean, on the kind of OG lineup that's playing with
Yes.
with Oceano,
Okay.
there's members
Yeah.
that cross over, right?
Yeah, so that's kind of wild. So the other guitar player in Monsters with me, Andrew, he is the original guitarist of Jerome. And then basically when Jerome ended, I think we started Monsters within a year of Jerome ending. So we ended in 2007, and then basically started Monsters in probably probably the beginning of 2008, somewhere around there. I think Frank would probably know better than me. He's in the chat, but yeah, so that kind of led into that. And it was funny because when we started Monsters, it was like a super group, we were making jokes because it was all it was some of the best players we knew from the local scene. Frankie was in a band called The Dial, which is a super throwback to it was kind of Every Time I Die type of vibes. And they were huge in the local scene. 2008. All right, Frankie got it. So yeah, and Frankie's band was huge, dude. I used to go see Frankie's band before I even knew him, and they would draw 200-300 kids at a local show when we were 15, dude, 16. It was the craziest. It was the craziest thing. And I saw them play at a forest preserve, which is crazy because at the forest preserve, the Strength Within played, which was Jerome before it became Jerome. It was Boz, it was Andrew, and it was Danny, the drummer, and the bass player was he disappeared. But yeah, so essentially, so Oceano got Danny on drums. Andrew went to Monsters with me, and the bass player went on to not do anything. He ended up, having a few kids and getting a serious job and stuff. And then Boz went to school. That was one of the big reasons Jerome kind of split, was Boz wanted to go play football, and Andrew and Danny wanted to go play pop punk.
Okay. Did they do pop punk?
They sure did. They sure did. It was a band called Weekend FM. They were a big staple in the Chicagoland scene. It was weird because they would play all the heavy shows, even though they were a pop punk band. And I think it was more like a Day to Remember type of pop punk.
Okay.
It's still, yeah, exactly. It didn't have any screaming.
Core.
Yeah, easy core. Yeah, it had heavy parts, but yeah, it didn't have any screaming or anything. But yeah, so that was more or less the reason for the split. And yeah.
Was pop punk and easycore and stuff a big thing in Chicago? I feel I wasn't the biggest into
that genre, but I feel like I know of bands that have come out of Chicago, but maybe I'm tripping.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know of any big pop punk bands that have come out of Chicago, but it was honestly, it was right before the heavy scene started developing. I think because obviously you guys know this, it was like the screamo, from first to last, like that whole situation, because that's where I started, I'll admit it. I was like Dead Poetic from first to last, He Is Legend, Chiodos, like that was a phase I went through for sure.
Right there with you, both of us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the sound.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
So that kind of like spawned from those types of bands, like
exactly.
Yeah.
That. Go ahead.
No, go for it.
No, I was just gonna say, that was just. I think it was just the natural evolution. I think it's like when we were 14, 15, the less like the more mainstream music was a little more easy to digest, and then as we got older, it's like you just start discovering all this nonsense, and all of a sudden you're listening to gore grind or something, and it's cool, it's awesome. That's what music's all about, is one thing leads you to the next.
Yep. Especially with MySpace back then, it was wild, like there was this sense of, because now things are maybe more separated in the way that like deathcore is deathcore, metalcore is metalcore. But back then it was a heavy band, you know what I mean? Like people would listen to A Day to Remember and they would listen to Suicide Silence and no one was thinking anything about it. It was just like... That's how it was. Exactly.
And that's why we constantly get... It's funny when people say... I hate saying it, but deathcore legends and, stuff like that. It's funny because I've told both of you this. That deathcore was not the way. Yeah, we didn't use that term back then to describe our band. Like, and if it became to that, it got to that point, it was because that was, what was happening. So we were just going with the times, And like you said, I think that is why Jerome, had the music we had at such, like, because we wrote that original EP like starting at like 16, so we were essentially just like, we were straight up kids, dude. Like we had a carpool, you know what I mean? Like I think Danny had a driver's license, and we used to have to all like pile in his car, and he would drive us around, and then same thing. Then Boz got a car, and all of a sudden, so it was just like, it was bizarre, man. And I contribute that to the fact that like Andrew, the original guitar player, he came straight from like Megadeth, Slayer, Metallica. So like he could play. He was just like a great player. And Boz is funny because he can play bass, he can play guitar, he can play drums, he can do vocals. Like he's really like, he's funny. He doesn't play any of them full time, but he'll pick something up and you're like, what? Like
that
he's really musically inclined. So
it's the kind of guy that everybody hates, to be honest.
Yeah, and especially like he's the worst to have at band practice because he wants to, can I play the drums? Can I play your guitar?
There's not enough of having one drummer play shit between the songs. You got to have two.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
But we're talking about it. It would be cool maybe to. I know we did it together a while back, but you're talking about the initial, just meeting the guys a little bit. Do you want to tell us a little bit how it happened?
You were mentioning the old band prior, Strength Within, and all that.
Yeah. So it's a funny story. It all starts with me and Boz, and Boz's cousin lived down the street from me, and we went to elementary school together. We went to like 4th, 5th grade, and then we went to middle school together. And then I met Boz at his house, just going over there as a kid. And he's like, oh, my cousin's coming over today. And, so then I meet Boz. And at the time, Boz was like, he was into like Mushroom Head and Korn. And basically, like, we were in the new metal. Like, Slipknot is probably still my favorite band to this day. Like, I hate to say it, of course, self-titled Iowa, Subliminal Verses.
But I mean, look,
but that shaped my metal brain for forever after that.
Fair enough, by the way.
Yeah. You know.
Even volume 3 for me was like a big.
That's that's what I said. Subliminal Verses was yes.
Okay.
Yeah, my bad. I guess I said the like full title. Yeah, volume 3 was still. I think it was. Yeah, it was on par. I mean, Iowa is still. I think Iowa visually, like coming out with the new suits, the new masks, and then like the new vibe. They put out the video for Left Behind. You know, they're in a butcher shop. It's like produced. Like it was pretty crazy to see that type of metal start taking off like that at the time.
Yeah, when you even to this day, let's be honest, it was the heaviest thing to ever be that mainstream, like ever. I think honestly, like that mainstream, that level of it. We're talking like Billboard 200 type thing, like probably still now the biggest, like the heaviest thing that ever got to that point. So
it's the best.
So you meet Boz at your cousin's place.
No, so at Boz's cousin's house.
At Boz's cousin's place.
Yes,
Sorry, he's your friend.
Yeah. So I meet him at his cousin's house, and then it becomes one of those things where I end up like running into him every couple of years. You know, he at the time at 16, you know, when you think someone lives 45 minutes away, they might as well live in another state, you know, because you don't drive and you have no concept of like travel at that point. So I'm just like, when he would leave, I'm like, oh, he's gone. I'll never see him again. And then then he would pop up every once in a while. And then the next time I see him, he comes over with he's got a BC Rich bass now. He just bought a bass and he's all like hyped on music. And I had been playing music at that point. So basically us running into each other was like I was like, oh, wow, like another musician. Because dude, at 16 in 2006, like with like barely internet and, you know, I mean, like my cell phone, dude, I could text and that was it at the time. But so essentially we got back in touch and then same thing. 5 years goes by, something, I don't see him. And I'm like, okay. And then I kid you not, I see him at his cousin's house again. And at this time, we're literally 16. We just turned 16. And he goes, I just joined this a band as the vocalist. And I'm like, oh, really? A vocal? Like, I didn't know him to do vocals at all at the time. You know, he played bass. He was into guitar and stuff. So all of a sudden, he's telling me he's doing vocals in a band. He's like, yeah, we need a guitar player. You should come try out. And I said, okay. I didn't drive at the time. So it was like the weirdest thing, man. The guitar player, George, he was like 18, about to graduate high school. So he was like one, you know, cooler, older dude, whatever. Smoked cigarettes, you know, just like had like a Trans Am or something. Like he literally looked like he came out of Stranger Things. And he looked like Eddie Munson, dude. It was like Eddie Munson picked me up and was ready to go, well, you know, take some Demogorgons on. But so yeah, he picks me up from my house and we drive like 30 minutes, dude, all the way to Boz's house. And at the time, of course, it felt like 2 hours. I'm like, dude, I don't know this guy, like, you know, whatever. But it was cool. It was good vibes. But I went in and I just like, you know, did my thing. And they loved it because they were like Children of Bodom type of metal. They were like they were called Words of the Dying. And it was just straight up like as metal as you can imagine. Yeah, dude, it was hardcore.
16-year-old ass fucking band name, man.
But you know what's even crazier is, dude, they were all older. They were like about to graduate high school, and I was 16. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll join your band. But so yeah, I ended up going over, and it was funny because I think right at that time I was like really into like As I Lay Dying. So my metalcore chops were like probably the best they ever were in my life. You know, because when you're 16, your little muscles are so fresh, dude. It's just so either way. I played a bunch of metalcore for them, and they were all like, you know, they were freaking out because I was like playing like chuggy stuff mixed with notes and stuff, and they're just playing, you know, the same little noodles and stuff. And yeah, they like accepted me on the spot. It wasn't even like a cliffhanger, whatever, da da da. And I'm like, all right, so that happens, and then that starts going pretty hard for like a month, and then we played one show and broke up. And then so that was just like boom, like yeah, that was my dreams just gone. I'm like, oh, okay. And
Words of the Dying.
Yeah, the end of Words of the Dying. And it's funny, I talked to some of those guys, so they actually hit me up now and they're like, yo, Jerome, and I'm like, whoa, that's a trip. Okay. So yeah, and then so fast forward a little bit now, I end up going to that Forest Preserve show and I see The Strength Within. And it was and I only happened to go to that show. It wasn't even because it was a friend just said, "You want to go to a show?" And I said, "Sure." And they had no idea what it was, what the bands were. And yeah, and then I ended up seeing Boz obviously, and we started talking again. And then he asked me to be in The Strength Within, which was straight up hardcore, bro. It was not even hardcore. It was straight edge hardcore. So it was like it was like full bore, and which is cool. Got no problem with it. And so we get into that for a minute, and that lasts all of like maybe a few weeks, and then we changed into a metalcore band, like a full-on metalcore band. Like we even went to the studio. I can probably dig it up somewhere. I don't know.
We gotta find that stuff.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
we
1,000%. I'm gonna hound you for that. You can't just say that to two people like us.
honestly, it's super sick. It sounds like Unearth or something. Like at the time, we were super into like Unearth, As I Lay Dying, like Bleeding Through, like just really like sick riffs and like sick heavy parts. And so yeah, then we did that. We recorded the one track and did nothing with it. So this is like becoming a reoccurring theme, is like we were able to like get our foot in the door every time, and that was it. And
I also see a common denominator here that keeps on joining these bands and then they immediately break up. I'm just putting it out there.
I mean, valid. Yeah, so all right, so then, yeah, we do the metalcore thing, that bails, and then, like I told you, so basically Job for a Cowboy had just popped off. Entombment of a Machine had just come out, and the music video came out, and, you know, everybody knows the break with the scream and the snare was just, like, that changed. I think that changed everybody's, like, everybody went out and bought a Zilbel, like, immediately right after that. That was, like, yeah. I'm sure the Zilbel sales just like skyrocketed
with no endorsement, but they should have planned for it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically, I didn't go to that show either. That was just that was Danny, Boz, and Andrew, and it was weird because they came back, and you know, next time I go to practice, like a few days later, they're all so excited, and they're like, "Dude, we saw this band," and like, you know, and then I just get to listen to it. So they went and saw them and I listened to it, and yeah, that's all I needed. And yeah, we basically just changed our sound overnight. It was funny because it's like guitar tunings too. We were in drop C, which is like, you know, metalcore tuning. Yes, and then all of a sudden we're like, okay, we want to be heavy. What's the next logical step? All right, let's go down another step. Okay. Now we go down to drop B, and it's funny at the time, and I'll tell you this, we became friends with Oceano like pretty early on at that point, and we basically found out they were in drop B, so we're like, you know what? We're gonna go to drop A. And so we went down another step, and we're like, all right, you know what? We're gonna be the heaviest local band now. Like there's gonna be, you know, no one's gonna be as heavy, and so that's essentially what just kept making us tune lower and just get heavier. And because I straight up like because
on a 6-string, sorry, like,
oh yeah,
okay, dude, we're loose as shit,
dude. The Jerome, the EP we just tracked was in drop A on a 6-string.
Oh no, yeah, but when you kind of know a little bit more what you're doing and playing with string gauges and stuff, but I'm sure back then it was just kind of like taking the exact setup, the drop C setup, and just turning it down, right?
But you want to know what's even crazy? Know what my solution to that was? I just kept going and buying bigger strings, which does not work because you need to get your guitar set up still if you're changing your string gauge. You can't just keep putting fatter strings on and expect it to like work. So at one point my strings were probably like this far off the fretboard because it just like was so blown out, and I didn't care because I was 16, dude. I'd play a baseball bat with a shoestring on it if I had to. And so that's, you know, that was like that initial evolution was just basically like we, you know, like the Dead Walk by Acacia Strain was another big one for us. That was like pretty much my introduction into like heavy music, you know, going from As Lay Dying, like the traditional more metal route to that type of stuff, dude. Dead Walk blew my mind. And
probably like the style of breakdowns, the tritones, like that sort of
well, I'm sure you might hear some influence in Monsters. I don't know. It's like,
well, I mean, the whole that whole scene, to be fair, right? Like the whole Chicago scene kind of became that sort of beat down thing, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know you guys love them. Demolish. Yeah, we had Demolisher, we had Rooks. Oh my god. We had we had a lot. Like I was writing it down earlier just so I remembered, but so when when Jerome was playing our first shows, Born of Osiris had not even come out still. They used to be called Rosecrans, and that was their original name. And so Not Eat the Gun, Envy and Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead, those are both tracked with Joe Buras, which was the original keyboardist of Born of Osiris. Okay. Yeah, so he had a recording studio at his parents' house called Crawl Space Recordings, and it was basically it was in the basement in the crawl space. So
the right name for the
totally.
So super original, yes.
Yeah, and so the thing was, it was funny too, is like back then you didn't know where to record because it was like you had to go find a flyer on a phone pole or something. There wasn't just like, couldn't jump on Instagram or MySpace or whatever, MySpace, but still it was even hard to find people locally who were tracking that type of music. Because we made a mistake.
Music, no less. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because when we went, it was funny actually to go back a little bit. When we tracked The Strength Within with the metalcore version, we did it with Andrew's guitar teacher at his studio. So it was like this, like 45-year-old dude who played like a Fender Strat, and all of a sudden he's got us in his studio and we're like playing super high gain and double bass and all just shit he didn't understand. He really didn't know how to grasp it, which was you could definitely hear it in the music. It was funny. You like try to mix it like a traditional rock song, and it was
right. Yeah. He probably never heard a drop C and doesn't know how to deal with it in a recording sense for sure.
His name was like Hunter or something. I forgot. He was a cool dude, but yeah, and it was bizarre too because he just like same thing with the gear for the studio. Yeah, like like some dad Marshall cab and like just was not the best. Maybe we made the best of it, but yeah. So where are we at now?
I don't know. So I mean,
recording with.
Yeah, you're kind of talking about recording with Joe.
Oh yeah. So that's Crawl Space. So we record Envy and Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead, and we're still 16 at this point, and we basically. We go track everything, and we think we're done. And then I kid you not, Boz wasn't happy with his vocal takes. So he literally contacted Joe on his own, went back without telling us, and retracked both songs. And just like a few days later, we get these new we get these new versions. We're like, what? And they were sick though. They're the ones that we have now. So it worked out. But Rosecrans mentioned. But yeah, so we did that, and then the next thing, then we just started playing some shows. We, to be honest, that's why it's funny when people talk about the lore and stuff, dude. We don't have that much. Like we played
you guys only played a few shows, right?
Yeah, we maybe played like 6 or 7 shows, like total.
And one of those is the infamous video online.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and that was. And it's funny because in that video, you can see Frankie from Monsters get the mic at one of I think it's in Eat the Gun, and he does a whole section. But that show was so wild. We broke fire code. Like that show, like I just mentioned, Frankie's band The Dial, that was their last show as well. So it was Jerome and Dial last shows. Like we were both going out. It was like basically, Oh, but yep, he had so much hair back then, Frankie said. Yeah, Frankie used to have an afro, dude. He literally rocked this massive fro. Yeah.
That I remember because you guys in freaking Monster came in a small city called Droneville, and I remember that.
Oh, wow, dude. You know what's funny is I was telling Dom the other day, I played in Saint Jerome
Yeah, Saint Jerome. Yes,
Saint
sir.
Jerome. Saint Jerome. Yeah, so I remember
which for context is like 15 minutes away from where I live.
The fact that you said it was so close to you blew my mind. I was like, that's crazy. Yeah, because once you mentioned Vermont, I'm like, you know what? I remember. Yeah, like a Tavernock, Frankie. Hey, Frankie, you remember? He says Blind Witness tour. Yep. Yeah, we were. I tell Jan, it was Monsters. We were out with Blind Witness, and man, there was a band with a girl.
Lineup.
Yeah, there was a band with a girl guitar player. They had God in their name.
God Falls, though. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yes. Dude, you know what? This guy named Rick, he was in a band called Beheading of a King, I think.
Yeah.
Aren't they from there too?
They're from Montreal too, yeah.
Yeah, dude, the guitar player Rick was doing merch for one of those bands at the time, and he used to talk to me, and I had no idea who he was because he was just this merch guy. And he'd always be playing air drums. And I'm like, oh, are you a drummer? He's like, no, I play guitar. And I'm like, okay. And then he told me about his band, and I remember listening. I was like, "Oh shit, his band's sick."
That band was goated. He specifically he was their guitar player from the beginning.
Yes,
but he developed like really bad tendonitis and actually had to quit guitar.
No.
And he like moved to vocals for a second. I mean, long story short, their old vocalist passed away.
Yes,
and then he took over on vocals for a second. It like kind of lined up, and then he kind of moved on. But Rick was a goated guitar player. He was
shout out Rick, dude.
Yeah,
he was
band too. Like you said, the band was really good. Yeah.
Honestly,
really.
I'm not gonna lie. The fact that I remembered his name is pretty wild because that was 2009. And I'm 35, so that was a long time ago.
Just a quick second to talk about the sponsor of today's episode, Indie Merch Store. Shadow of Intent is currently on tour with Lorna Shore, The Black Dahlia Murder, and Peeling Flesh. Don't miss out on one of the best tours of the year. And if you can't make it, snag merch from Shadow of Intent and all of the other bands over at indiemerchstore.com. We also got aborted vinyl reissues that are flying. They have limited stock available along with brand new album tees from the band. Secure yours today at indiemerchstore.com and be sure to catch them on tour this fall with Cattle Decapitation. Speaking of which, Cattle Decapitation also has some crucial new merch available. Secure the Pitch Black Attack drop along with new restock designs from the band. Catch them on tour this fall with Aborted as they play Death Atlas in its entirety. You can find merch from all the bands I just mentioned over at indiemerchstore.com. And if you guys use code BRUTALITY at checkout, you guys can save 10% off your entire order. Again, that's code BRUTALITY at checkout for 10% off. Big thank you to Indie Merch Store for sponsoring this episode. And now, back to the show.
You just said we broke the fire code, and I want to talk about that video. So anything about the video and the show and everything. So any details you have, we're here for it. You know, first of all,
fire code was too many people at the show. Like, what was?
Yeah, dude. Like, so basically, it was at a VFW hall, which is, I don't know. It's like where a bunch of old people hang out and play bingo.
Yeah, we have this here too. Yeah.
Okay, you have them too. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, so they've got another name here, but the same thing. Community centers ish.
Okay, community center. Yeah, so, Elk Grove VFW. So, I remember, I think, it was supposed to cap out at like 300 or something. I think we had like 450 or something crazy. And it was nuts because, I mean,
300 in a VFW is already a lot, right? Like,
oh, man, dude. I mean, and it was on the second floor. Like, we really all probably risked our lives to be at that show. That
two-story
building,
VFW, that's some bougie shit.
Yeah. Oh man, worst load-in ever. It was like a set of like 40 stairs. It was basically like the underworld of Illinois. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir. We know.
Just that giant stair set. Yeah. And then the worst part too is everybody would be going up and down the stairs as you're trying to get your shit up, and nobody would stop for you. And it's just like, okay, thanks. I got an A10. Like, no problem, no biggie. So
wow.
yeah,
it was, you're it's like it's god awful to bring up, but it's almost just as bad to get down. Like you're taking the fridge down and you're like, I might kill someone. This might be it. I might.
At that point, I'm just gonna let it go. I'm like, it'll make it. As long as the coast is clear. But yeah, so yeah, that show, man. Honestly, it was as sick as the show was. It was bittersweet, though. You know what I mean? Because to be honest, I didn't want Jerome to end, so I was like the one. I think I was the one member who was like, "Fuck!" Like everybody else had something to go to. Everybody, like Boz was going to school. Those guys were going to play pop punk, and I was like, "Man, I have like nothing. Like I'm left in the dust." And at the time, man, like, now people will find whole new lineups and, throw it back together, obviously. But back then, that was a hard, thing to do, especially at 16. Like I said, no cars, no sense of time, no sense of travel. And so that show, man, that show was amazing. And we kind of just split up the merch money after that and said, all right, we're all going our separate ways. And to be honest, I don't remember any other bands from that show besides us and the Dial. Just because it was a long time ago, man. That was 17 years ago. So over half my life ago.
You said that you broke up not too long after that show, right?
Oceano was on it. My bad. Yeah, there's actually videos. There's videos of them too. I totally forgot about that.
Okay, that's insane.
That's a pretty hype show, though. I can understand the 450 and the VFW.
Yeah.
Yeah. People went crazy too. Look at those videos. Everybody was jumping. At some point, you don't even see Buzz. It's just like people jumping. It was pretty crazy. But you said that you broke up not too long after that, right?
No, I mean, so essentially that was it. Yeah, that was the last show. Yeah, that was the last show. We disbanded. We were basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just curious, because the video kind of blew up. Well, definitely blew up. So do you recall, like, did you, even though you were broken up, like, did you send like the video being like, dude, what is happening? Was that like even worse? Because you were just like, we broke up and then it's blowing up. Like, I'm just curious about that.
No. So to be honest, you want to know what's funny about this is that's why this is all really weird as well. I forgot about Jerome for like a decade. I knew I did it. Like it was a part of my life, but in my mind, it was this thing like, yeah, I was 16. We put out a couple songs. It's over. We did it. Like, I don't know. In your mind, you never fathom bringing back a band from that long ago or, whatever the case. So to be honest, I just forgot about it. Like it was kind of my past, you know what I mean? I just like when anyone brought it up, I'd be hyped, obviously. I always appreciated because, then I went on tour with Monsters, and I'm sure Frankie can attest. We would be sound checking and you'd hear people go, "Eat the gun." And I'm like, oh shit. And like, it was funny. And same thing, I went on a tour with Oceano, and same thing. People would go up to Danny all the time and bring up Jerome. So it was just this cool thing, that I always knew we did. And but yeah, more or less didn't want to think about it that much either, because I was upset a little bit. But yeah, so to basically, didn't know it went viral for like ever. Wow. Like, yeah, essentially, dude, Jan, basically when your video came out, basically was kind of just like reignited my like, oh, I wonder what's going on with, like, I haven't listened to that in forever, and I haven't looked at that in forever. And throughout the years, I had talked to Boz every here and there about starting it up again, and then common theme, I wouldn't talk to him for 2 more years, and then I'd hear from him, and then I'd be like, dude, I can't find a drummer, I'm trying. All right, 2 years later, oh, I almost got a drummer, and it went on for a while. And yeah, man, so yeah.
Would that have even just been like Jerome, or would have that just been doing another music thing with Boz?
I mean, honestly, yeah, I would have. Well, so here's the thing too, is like Frankie already said in chat, like I don't think there was much of a break though between Jerome and Monsters.
Because it was close.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty close. It was probably within a year, because it's funny too. We actually there was actually two so Frankie was in another band and I was in a band in between Monsters and Jerome real quick. Like it happened, we played one show and we broke up. So Frankie will know about it. I was in a band called Hero and he was in a band called Badmouth, and it was supposed to be like this massive thing because it was X-Men. Yep, there you go. He's in the chat. So basically, everybody's like, oh, super groups, people from Jerome, people from The Dial, people from this, all this. It was supposed to be this big thing. And Badmouth was sick. Hero, on the other hand, dude, we tanked so bad. Like we played a show, and I've never played a show in my life where we stopped in the middle of the set, because we literally lost our spot and didn't know how to recover. And then our singer started yelling at us mid-set and was like, fucking play something. And we're just like, okay, so we just try. Yeah, it was bad, dude.
Which definitely won't help your situation.
No.
Any vocalists out there, I'd say won't help if you're just basically screaming, play something.
Exactly, and that's what's even funnier is that vocalist was the original one of the original vocalists of Oceano. So yet again, dude, it's like almost gets confusing at a point to try and connect the dots sometimes.
Something in Chicago, man. I don't know.
Yeah, well, so that's the thing. That's why Hero was supposed to be a supergroup. It was Topher on vocals, which was Chris. He was the original vocalist of Oceano. And then it was Nico on drums, which was the original drummer of Oceano. And then it was me on guitar. And then the bass player was Jeff, who was the bass player of Jerome. So it was basically
crazy.
It was like a couple of Jerome members, a couple of Oceano members, and so it was supposed to be the big thing, but we let outside influence kind of mess that whole thing up. Basically, we had, like, back then there was a local guy, I'm not going to say names, so I don't want to, either way, people know. There was a local guy who was like trying to put everybody on, you know what I mean? Like he was like, oh, I know people from Sumerian Records, like I know Ash, he's like name dropping a bunch, and he drove like a friggin' Beamer and stuff, he had like tinted windows. So you're like, this dude was like intriguing, you know what I mean? You're like, this guy's got like, looks like he's got money. He said he knows people. He's talking about picking up like Muhammad from freaking Necrophagist from the airport. Like he's his friend and stuff.
He was, sorry to cut you off. It's just a little thing. He was basically the equivalent of people nowadays on social media selling masterclasses and stuff like that.
Dude. So more or less, dude, I get a phone call at like 2 a.m. and, is that really Chris? I get a phone call at like 2 a.m.
My man's strolling it.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, wait a minute. It's like 2 a.m, man. I get a phone call and it's like, you need to get to my house right now. This is life changing. And I'm like, what? So I kid you not, dude. I was 16, like not supposed, like there's a driving curfew still. Like I'm not supposed to be out past like midnight or 1 a.m. or something. And I'm like, fuck, dude, what do I do? And I was like, you know what? I risked it, dude. I got in my car. I drove friggin' 35 minutes to, it was like in Wooddale. It's a suburb outside of Chicago. And I ended up driving there and, it's like the manager guy and a few of the members, and they sit us down. They're like, so we're going to start the next Born of Osiris. It's going to be the next like Veil, basically it's going to be the next like big group. Like we're like, it was
straight
predestined. Yeah, exactly. It was like predestined. It was set up. It was, so it was like, dude, it was very bizarre. And, so it got to the point.
I just want to overemphasize the fact that this is at 2-3 in the morning at some random dude's house. Okay, just so we're clear here.
Yeah. Makes it better.
Yeah, random address too. I didn't even know whose house it was.
It's even better. Can we also just address the fact that I'm pretty sure no one ever in any capacity like of success as a band said we will be the next, you know, like that. I don't think it's something that people are just like, so we'll be the next this. I don't think it's something people say usually.
It's not, it's not, but I was in the mindset at the time of it's an opportunity.
Of course,
so
of course.
I should just see this out at least and see where it goes. Cause I mean, to be honest, it had all the potential in the world, but, that manager guy was essentially sitting over our shoulders the whole time, just like micromanaging the music and being like, no, this needs to sound more like this. And, you know, so just kind of ruined the whole thing. And I don't even kind of know what to say it sounded like. It sounded like maybe, I don't know, gent. I don't know what you want, you know, what you want to call it. It kind of sounded like, you know, it was like what led me into Monsters, I feel like.
Sure.
Like as like a musical style. Because that's when I started playing a lot of the like twangy riffs, you know, the kind of the bouncy stuff, so yeah, that, you know, that led me into that. So that, I guess that was the good part of it all. But it became so stressful that it was this thing where I was 16 in high school, man, and I'd go to school and then they'd want to practice and then I'd have to get out of school at 4:00 and then drive, you know, to like Elmwood Park, which was basically outside of Chicago. And for me at the time, it was like almost an hour drive. And then the practices weren't even just like hanging and having fun. It was like a business deal. You know what I mean? It was like, we gotta, you know, we gotta produce this and, has to sound this way. And that, in my experience, any band I've been in where there's too many presets, it never works. Yeah, if you that's my biggest thing as far as writing. I'm like pretty unorthodox when I write, because I don't know music theory, you know, like most metal guitar players. I don't really, you know, I basically know what I think I like, what sounds good to me. And so yeah, man, that whole situation kind of sucked. And then we played the one show, it whiffed, and then honestly I think that's probably why Frankie and I started Monsters, though, was that show. And the name Monsters, dude, that literally was like a conversation at Wendy's, and we're just like, Monsters, oh yeah, sick. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It'll be great
Frankie,
for Google.
Yeah, I was like, Frankie can add to that one, but
just gonna say, I'm really glad it wasn't the Monsters, because apparently your music is under something like that somewhere, or something dumb told me, and I was just like, Monsters. No, but Monster is so sick as a name, and then the Monsters is really not. That's the conversation we had early on. So thank you for not adding that to the name.
Yeah, I think, and it's funny too, because I think we chose that name right when that whole trend started as well. Like the plural names, one word band names. Frankie. Oh God. Yeah. So
I'm a big hater of the one word band names.
I'm not gonna lie, dude.
It is what it is.
I'm over it, dude. Let's move on. I kid you not, man. Like, when I'm thinking of song titles and I'm thinking of lyrics or anything now, dude, I go to the furthest reaches of the galaxy, dude. I'm like, I gotta, you know, I don't want to make it too weird, but I don't want to just do what everyone else does.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure.
Yeah, because I named Envy, I named Divine Intervention. And, well, Envy is named after a movie. It's a movie with Ben Stiller and Jack Black. That's where I got that name. And then, what was it? Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead is a movie as well. So I got that. And then, I think that came from the fact that everybody was using movie quotes and, like, you know, Family Guy and stuff. So we're like, it's like pop culture. Like, let's just name songs after movies. I don't know. And Divine Intervention, though, that name is hilarious because it was a game on like E-Bombs World, which was like it was like an old website where you could play like these really weird games. But Divine Intervention was basically a game where you were you were like a guy with an Uzi, and it was like a side-scrolling game, and basically there was like demonic little babies and like demons and stuff trying to get you, and you basically just had to not die. And that and I used to play that in the basement at practice, and it was called Divine Intervention. So it was basically a demon fighting game on E-Bombs World.
Well, to your credit, I'm gonna tell you the song.
Oh, wow, that's it! No way!
This is kind of crazy,
dude. There's the little kid. Oh my god!
Pretty well,
dude. I died so many times at that spot. That little spot right there. Yeah. So. Yep. So that right there
is goddamn Flash games.
Yep. Game over. That guy knows.
I miss it. I'm not kidding. You guys remember like Newgrounds and websites like that? It was so sick. Amazing. Stick animations and whatnot. Like stick, but whatever. Yeah. So to your credit though, Eat the Gone is a really good and memorable song name. I'll give you that. But it reminds me of something, and maybe I could be making that up entirely. But I recall a story you told me that the song Eat the Gun apparently is changed between the time to record it and what you were initially playing live. Is that thing?
Yeah, 100%. There's actually there's a video from it's called Clearwater Theater. It's not around anymore, but there's actually a video of us playing Eat the Gun at that show, and there's almost no like lyrics. If you listen to it, Boz is just screaming. Like he doesn't say eat the gun like at the breakdown at the end. He just goes like it's basically that. It's that video. He had no lyrics for anything. We were just straight, dude. That's when we were all playing like barefoot. Nobody wore shoes. That was like it was like a caveman thing. To be honest, I think we saw Oceano do that first.
The no shoes thing?
Yeah, the no shoes thing. That was just like you go see a show, and it was almost like you got like prepared for war. You know what I mean? It's like everybody like took their shoes off. I was like, we gotta be grounded, we gotta be planted. Like, I don't know, but yeah, that was just that was it. Oh God, Boz, jeez. He was a maniac. He was a maniac back then. That's funny. But yeah,
Did you guys ever kind of talked about it, or it was just him having like a 6-stage presence naturally? Like,
this was all Boz. He just, there was no telling him what to do. Like, not in a bad way, but you know what I mean? He knew what he wanted to do, and he did it. And
it worked.
Yeah, it worked. It's been like, I still remember walking around the mall with him when we were 16, and he would be doing pig squeals, there'd be people everywhere, and he's just pig squealing like super loud. And I think Boz got into pig squeals because of Waking the Cadaver. I believe that was the first band we had heard at the time that was like really for sure, bro. Like, Waking the Cadaver, that was our shit back then. I think that's honestly what led us to do like the gang vocals and Eat the Gun. Was probably hearing them do like, you know, the big like call outs and stuff. Look at Frankie saying him and Boz would listen to Behemoth in his dad's office, and his dad would yell at him. That's hilarious. I did not know that.
I think it was also the entire thing. Like, it might sound stupid, but like the jersey thing, right? He was wearing, he looked more like just like a sport, like just a badass jag dude. It was something I think we were maybe not used to see.
No, totally.
So
it was the Scene Kid era. Let's be real, right? Like, we're talking Job for a Cowboy, like all that early stuff, right?
Yeah, looked like the dude who would beat up Scene Kids maybe more, but not a Scene Kid. I'm not saying he did, by the way. Not making anything up.
Bye, Frankie. Frankie's leaving.
See you, Frankie.
It was good having you, dude. See you soon.
Appreciate you.
Awesome. So the thing with Boz was. And it's funny because like you guys say, I remember reading this like 3-paragraph comment on Instagram that was some guy. He said, he's like, imagine there's this guy who's like loves metal so much that he's willing to like transcend barriers and like mingle with the metal, like basically saying like he's so above this, but he was like loves it so much. Like he, you know, imagine him walking down the hallway and like he's hanging with the bros, but then he would say what's up to the metal dudes, and like and it was not like that at all, which is so funny. He loved metal, but he also, like, dude, we were 16 and he was like 6 foot something and just giant. Like, so, I mean, if I was in his shoes, I probably would have looked into doing, you know, being a power lifter or like, you know what I mean? Like
football in this case.
Oh, football. That's what I'm saying. So it made sense for him. Mm-hmm. Oh, yo, shout out Dr. Satan, friggin' Cam did the art for the Skull Study EP.
Oh, hell yeah, it was good. Hell
awesome.
Yeah, man.
Sick one. And the advantage you had also is with a vocalist like that, no one is trying to have beef with you guys after the shows. No. It's like people are very polite. Like, can I buy some merch, please?
Yeah. Yeah, 100. Well, and then also, like I was telling Dom earlier, just how I operate and how, you know, we've like any band I've always been a part is, you know, it's just about good street cred, man. Just be cool with everybody. You know, we're all trying to do this, you know. So
do you think that's a Chicago thing? Like, is that like
I think so. Yeah, for sure. I think it's just Midwest, man. Like, especially growing up outside of Chicago, we have basically there's an old saying here. We have 2 seasons. We have construction and winter. So basically, it's like it's fucking cold and just miserable. Like 8 months, 8 months out of the year, and then you get like 4 nice months that it's just like the roads are tore up to shit because they just procrastinate and do everything at the worst time. So, yeah, I think it's just part of growing up here, dude. It's rough and it's just kind of tight too, you know, being in the Midwest, you know, we're right outside of Chicago in the suburbs. So it's nice, dude. I won't lie. I hate going to Chicago for practice.
Yeah.
So imagine it takes an hour and 15 minutes to drive 15 miles.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that here too, Montreal and the likes.
Way.
All the, you know, it's the big city stuff for sure.
Yeah.
But I feel that though. But to be fair though, Chicago traffic is known to be fucking dog shit though. It is.
Yeah, I mean,
a known thing.
Yeah, they said it was worse in the country, which is crazy to me. I don't know how.
Somehow.
Well, I mean, I just assumed LA or New York had us beat, but it's kind of wild.
Yeah, I'm on. Before we scoot too far off from, because we're talking about Eat the Gun here.
Yes,
I'd love to kind of linger on that for a second, because I think like obviously that song was the Jerome song. That's like the song that people ended up really resonating with.
Yeah, 100%.
Was it like that back then too, like at the shows, like locally as well too? Or is that kind of, because again, you guys only played like a few shows, like was that hype even there initially, or was that kind of all after the fact when you guys were already broken up?
When you started singing the lyrics, actually.
Yeah, no, so that's what I was gonna say is I'm pretty sure, that song like had minimal success when it first came out. Like, it was cool. It was cool locally, you know what I mean? Like people in the local scene, you know, latched on, knew the words and stuff. But yeah, dude, it's just like, that's like a once in a lifetime thing. I don't even understand it still. Cause I don't think even when we wrote Eat the Gun, I don't think we had no understanding of what it was going to end up being. It was just like, oh, this is brutal. This is hard. And at that time, I remember when we went into the studio to record Eat the Gun and Divine Intervention, like my biggest influence, and I'm gonna say it wrong because that's how we all say it and I don't care, but Elijah was like my big, I would do. So Jerome played with Elijah twice. I don't know if I ever told you this, but we played with him once with Catherine and Stick to Your Guns at the Knights of Columbus. It's like a VFW hall. It's in Arlington Heights. But and it's funny because there's actually there's an Elijah video, like music video, that was filmed at that show. And so that was dope. And so Eat the Gun, man, didn't really have that much success at the time. And to be honest, I think the song was maybe out for a few months before we broke up. So didn't really have time to hit or anything.
But
and that
some songs did though, like in the MySpace era. Like sometimes all it took was kind of just like that thing. But it's just particular to me because I feel like even on MySpace it blew up, but after. Like from what we're talking now, like probably just after the fact, like it just,
100%.
It took off afterwards, I think, and it could be wrong, but I feel like the like most things, the video itself, like the live performances, stuff like that, is kind of what made it what it was. So
it's funny because I honestly didn't even really know about that live video until a couple of years ago. That wasn't like the way I consumed it. The way I consumed it was the one YouTube upload, that claimed he had it better quality than everybody else. That was like
quality.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got
the video, correct me, Ben, if I'm wrong, but I think the video itself is maybe kind of what, because I remember my when my friend showed me you guys, like Jerome, he's just like, look at these dudes. And like, I remember he clicked on the video and I'm just like, oh my God, like what is happening? Like I remember the conversation we had earlier about like seeing Buzz with the jersey and like everybody going crazy and stuff. Like to me, it looked way more like a hardcore show or something, like more than anything. Yeah, exactly. There we go.
And like I said, I think we can attribute that as well to the fact that like our scene was so diverse at the time, which was super cool, because I think it's kind of that's happening again now, which I think is super cool. Like I think it's nice seeing hardcore bands mixed with, deathcore mixed with whatever, dude. Like in Chicago, man, there's people mixing like, shoegaze with deathcore, with this, with like, there's every type of genre on some shows out here now, which is pretty cool to see. And I think that's what attributed to like the fact that, so what's crazy, the big guy in the blonde hair with the white shirt right there, that's our friend Jamie Lono. He ended up getting onto The Voice. And he got picked by CeeLo Green, and like he ended up like having like pretty heavy success with like he writes some really good acoustic like singing music. So he ended up popping off, which is super cool. It's like funny watching this video. I see like so many people in here that have like, were a part of other bands and
or went on to do other things.
You also mentioned that pretty much that entire room is now in their 30s.
Oh man, pushing 40, dude. It's crazy.
Can we just acknowledge that also? It's pretty crazy to think about.
And I'm trying that show was cool. The thing I do remember is the set was over. It felt like in 5 minutes. Like it went by so fast. And it's funny because there's comments on the videos and people are like, "That's all they played." I'm like, I don't even think we played like I don't even know if we played Divine Intervention. I don't even know if we played.
It was Eat the Gun and you left. Like you played Eat the Gun, you're like
basically. Well, so on this show, there's actually two tracks we have never that you could only hear in these videos. There's one called Christmas, and then there's one called New Song ? Essentially, those were literally just songs we had written, and we were just playing at shows and never got tracked. And so, talking about, people keep bringing those up. There's a song called Christmas because in the middle we do like a Christmas jingle riff, and yet again, very random like pop culture things just being thrown in, like. There's a riff in Envy that is like a popular some guitar player's riff. I don't, this
Look,
guy.
hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's funny because for probably like up until maybe like 2 years ago, I didn't even know what that riff was, or what it's supposed to sound like.
Yeah.
But now I had to learn it because I have to play it. Because I had to learn all the lead stuff for Jerome now. Because I used to just play the rhythm.
What not to jump too much, but since we're specifically we were talking about Eat the Gun, I'm curious to know how it felt for you, maybe seeing bands in the revival covering that sound. Like, first of all,
I can't count them anymore. Let's just so we're clear. I don't have enough fingers to count the amount of bands that have covered Eat the Gun.
Because it's a big thing, right? Like, if they're playing that song, it means it's a deathcore classic automatically. So how?
Yeah. To me, honestly, that's like stuff like that is why I play music. Like that to me is like worth more than gold. That's like the essence to me of like the fact that you have the ability to like get people stoked on just, fucking music, dude. It's like, that's probably the coolest thing. Not even that, because always the mindset I've had is the music I write is the music I want to hear. Which is like a weird thing, but it's like this, it's like this thing. It's just like, this is what I hear, but I can't find it anywhere. So then you make it, which is like it's a weird like birth process. It's like, oh, I've been thinking about this thing. Like, how many times, like, when people say this all the time, like, I'll just be walking around at work, like, humming something in my head, and then you're able to translate that on the guitar, and then it becomes whatever it becomes, and it's just super cool that, it'll end up, having people freaking doing covers, man. And, like, the Alleyway cover, was that in that alley? Was that In Which Divides Us? Was that them? Yeah. So, like, those homies, dude, like, I'm very excited to go to Cali just to like tell these dudes, like, show our appreciation, like, super cool. It's funny because people have been making jokes like the fest is essentially like it was brought to fruition by every single one of those bands doing like a Jerome cover. There's someone's like, our Jerome cover finally made it happen. I was like, hey man. But it's funny because when we took this show, we had no idea that all these, like, a good handful of these bands were those guys and stuff. So this is all like new knowledge of recent, and it's super cool, man. So now that we're talking about it, shout out Coded Co. and the Brutal Extravaganza Fest 2. So our first time in Cali, basically furthest we went out of state was Indiana, which was like a 2-hour drive. So now we're literally gonna fly across the country. All right, shout out Colin on drums in chat. So that's Colin St. Mary. That is he owns 19 Stars NWI, which is the studio in northern Indiana that we tracked Skull Study at, the most recent EP. So yeah, that's Colin. He I tracked. He recorded, produced, and mixed and mastered, and he's also the drummer of Volcano, and he's in a band called Suffering BDM from Indiana, and Gagger Hardcore. So yeah, he's in a handful of bands, and it was super cool to do the record with him because it was the first time that I've worked with somebody who's like on the pulse, you know what I mean? Like, he's in a lot of bands, and not only that, he's a super sick drummer. So, and he's a super sick drummer, super sick guitar player, everything. And so he just made the whole process like really smooth because he just, he saw the vision from the get-go. And shout out Colin.
All right. So let's kind of make a link here between all this and you guys. Obviously, you guys played a reunion show. You guys got the band back together, played a reunion show a year ago.
Yep.
But now there's new music out this past week, right? So I'd love to, you're talking about being in the studio and stuff. Like, can you kind of walk us through maybe the stages of what Jerome was to be? Was there ever a point where it was maybe just going to be a show? Was it explicitly to write some new music as well? Like how'd the whole reunion kind of come about to begin with?
Yeah, all right. So basically at first it was more or less for fun. And because most of the guys in the band, so we could talk about that really quick. So this new lineup, just to get that cleared out of the way, is it's me and Boz, which are the two original members, and then our new guitar player is Jeremy Carroll. He is a founding member of Oceano. He was in Rooks. He's in a band called Chaosphere. And
Chaosphere rules, by the way.
Yeah, there you go. Hell yeah. So yeah, he's in Chaosphere. He used to play in a band called Warhound. Like he's OG as it gets, dude. He's been around the block. So having him, was like an easy choice for me. Because he's got one of the heaviest hands, out there as far as like just heavy riffs, man. So like that mixing with, like the style I already had for Jerome, just figured that would be like a super sick combo. And then same thing in the chat right now, Wi-Fi internet. That's Kevin. He is the bass player of Chaosphere and also the bass player of Jerome. And he is super cool with him. He was like a OG fan of Jerome. So to me, that's like, I like having people be a part of this that are like genuinely super hyped. You know what I mean? And he's like hyped from this point of view of like, he's been a fan. So that's just super cool. And I love him. He's the best. So, and then our drummer, his name Alex Marcelletti, and he played for Barrier and Sworn In. So he has a lot of tour experience. He has a lot of knowledge, and he's super sick at drums too. He's a really good player. So basically, I just kind of handpicked, or I didn't handpick, but I knew what I wanted to do, and I wanted it to be more of like a personal thing. This wasn't like a cash grab. I wasn't trying to just...
These are people you fuck with. You're like,
yes, exactly.
You were going to find some random person on the internet that auditioned that you didn't know about. Like, that's not
dude, that honestly, like, that wasn't even a thought either. I honestly wouldn't have wanted to do this if it was going to be just just grabbing random people and making it this thing that's like, because like I said, Jeremy's been around since... I've known Jeremy since I was 16. Jeremy's been around since Jerome started. Literally, I messaged Jeremy on MySpace when I was 16, and I said, hey, dude, I love Oceano. They're like my favorite band, and I'm starting a band right now, and we're called Jerome. Like, I hope we can play some shows. I was a little kid, man. Like, I didn't understand how the world works, so I was just like, worth a shot. And he even responded to me, which was crazy. I was like, there's no way he's going to respond. And he responded. He's like, oh, yeah, hopefully. And so, yeah, dude, where were we at? Sorry.
Well, okay. So, I mean, this kind of, you're talking about kind of handpicking these people who are wanting to do it for fun and with people that But I guess I'm concluding from that it wasn't just to cover the old songs at that point. It wasn't just to do a throwback set. It was probably to make some music, right?
Yeah. So that was more so my main intention was I wanted to put new music out. I figured if anything, that would be, make the biggest impact in the long run. Because I wasn't sure if we were going to even play shows at first. And actually, I mean, the show last year, that kind of just came out of nowhere. That was more or less like our really good friend was throwing a Halloween show and asked us. And, like I said, treat your friends well. So we just did it because the homie wanted us, and we weren't even ready, to be honest.
You guys were stressed. That's what I was gonna say. I remember having conversations with you, and you guys were tripping about this show.
We scrambled, man. Like it was, but I'm proud of everybody. We pulled through, and like we really grinded too, man. Because like I told you, our practice spot is in Chicago, so for basically 3 out of 5 members, it's like an hour plus drive one way, and 45 minutes home on a good day. So it's like trying to having a full-time job, getting off, driving to Chicago, practicing, driving back home. Literally you would get home like brush your teeth, shower, go to bed, go back to work, and like start it over. And it was a pretty big grind. And I love you, Kevin. And yeah, so yeah, man, we went in and yeah, so that was just the initial idea, was just kind of have fun, play, write just a couple new tracks. And to be honest, I don't think we thought there was going to be the reaction we've gotten. So that, more or less lit a fire under everybody's butts a little bit, and everybody
initially, you mean, like when you guys just announced the show and just like put up the Instagram page and stuff?
Yeah, well, because so when we originally started, like you said, I guess our only inclination to like this being people still caring was like the video and people talking about Eat the Gun so much. And
there were a few represses before that, though, right? A couple years prior, there must have been some interest from that to kind of see them sell.
Yeah, and those were more so, those just came out of nowhere. Those were more or less people just wanting to help us out, which was cool, because every time those opportunities came around, I saw it more as like a cool way to just get people some physical, merchandise, because we literally printed that Heavy as Balls shirt, and that was it. Like as far as like merch from back in the day, we didn't do CDs, we didn't do anything. So every time, like, we did the Been There Seen That release last year, and then we did a release with Jason from Girl of Glass / Corpse File. Like that one was like maybe like 7-8 years ago now. I don't remember. It was a while back. Yeah, that was the first one.
2019, yeah.
Yeah, what was it? Oh, that wasn't so it was 6 years ago. Okay, so yeah, so the 2019 one, that was the one where he made the shirt with Eat the Gun on the back, Chicago, Deathcore. And yeah, more so, man, I was like, if it's just an opportunity to get some stuff into people's hands, that's super cool. And
but then they sold, I assume.
Yeah, no,
right?
Dude, that freaked me out when, like, a couple hundred CDs and a couple hundred shirts sell in like 2 minutes flat. It's like, what? Like,
right.
And
gives you a bit of an inkling that at least some people care, right?
yeah, totally. And so those presses though didn't really like get me like amped to do it anymore. It was more so just like, oh, this is cool, it's happening, and then I kept moving on with everything, life. And but yeah, dude, I don't know, to be honest, I just wanted to do this because I told you this was my favorite band out of all my bands. And I've been sitting on some of this music, these riffs, like some of the riffs and like Skull Study and stuff, dude, like I've had for like 15 years, and I was just like, I've been like holding on to them because I wanted to use them at the right time. Like, I'm sure you realize the intro, that's the intro from that show. So I wrote that intro when I was 16, and I've had it ever since. It may have been used in another band I was in too, which is, it's fine. I wrote it.
Yeah, you can sue yourself, right?
I was gonna say, yeah, I'll just sue myself. The money, I'll pay myself back. It's fine. But yeah, dude, that intro, we knew we had to record that intro. That was like mandatory, and but yeah, it's
how was it doing the two songs? Like how was it to get some of those riffs out into workshop? I'm assuming workshop with the other members and stuff too.
Yeah. So that's what's cool too. So like as far as the EP, like Emperor of Torment, that song, the beginning. So there's like it's kind of like the blast part with like, I don't know, the pattern. It's like the whole like verse chorus or the whole verse part, and that essentially was our drummer just came up with the pattern of dun 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 dun, and then Jeremy just started chugging over it, and we're like, sick. Like that, and then see, but that's all it takes sometimes, and people really kind of forget that, and that's something we all talked about too when we went into this. We wanted to make sure it wasn't like yeah, I hate saying overproduced, you know, that's what everyone says, but like we just, you know, I don't want to say we try to make it raw. Like we just we wanted the performance to shine because the drums were live tracked. Like those are real drums, you know, everything was tracked. It's all legit. The guitar, it's quad tracked. So there's four separate takes of guitars, 2 left, 2 right. Like we really put a lot of time into it. And, so yeah, it's just those songs. To be honest, there was a little bit of mental warfare going on with the fact of I'm always going to compare it to the original music just because I was there for both. You know what I mean? And for there being such a large gap in time, it makes it really confusing a little bit.
Yeah, some sort of there's pressure that comes with it, or how people are going to receive it, knowing what the band was versus now. But I don't think it's like a weird stretch for what it's worth, right? Like the music, it's not like it sounds like another band. Like it's Jerome, so there's at least that.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, because let's be honest. You know, we do, by doing this, we see a lot of, I don't know, new bands that maybe comes back, and of course I'm not naming anything, but I'm just saying, like, it's not easy to after all these years, because people are just gonna say like, well, just do what you did. Yeah, but I was a kid. Like you need, you know, to revisit all those, I don't know, emotions or structures and the way you were writing, and sometimes it's not with exactly the same people.
You've changed as people in 15 years, as musicians, as you know.
Well, you're not an angry teenager. Like it's like there's a lot of stuff that's coming, so it's not easy. The raw thing you said, like we heard that 50 billion times. Oh, don't worry, it's gonna be raw, and then with all due respect, it sounds produced by a machine or something. So it's cool it was cool to hear that and to be like, you know, oh shit, that's still, as Dom just said, like it's still Jerome. You know?
Yeah, that was the craziest, like pretty consistent comment we've gotten was like, it's actually good. Which is, it's like the funniest compliment, but to me it's like that's a gratifying comment, because that it's like hearing the doubt be extinguished is super cool.
It's approved in some ways, right?
Yeah, which, you know, it's like cool. Like I'm not, you know, we're not seeking approval, but it's like it's awesome. It's just awesome that people like it. Like you said, I don't write nearly the same as I did when I was 16, man. Like I've been in a lot of different bands since. I've also listened to a lot of different music now.
Music's in a different place too, right?
Yeah.
Like there's just literally like entire new genres, or deathcore isn't deathcore anymore, right? Like it's a whole other thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's like we had talked about maybe like lowering our tuning for this, just to like I almost thought about it, because I'm like, people would expect it, you know, people would expect like, oh, it's just gonna be like just next level heavy, and then I'm like, you know what? No, like same tuning, same. You know what? Like the guitar I used is literally the guitar I've had since I was 16.
Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, so like I tracked it with the same exact guitar, and like it still has stickers on it from when I was, you know, 17 years old. Like it's the guitar. And
is it set up a little better than back in the day?
Yes. So that was the thing though. We made sure we got it. Yeah. We made sure we literally got it set up and good to go before we tracked. So we were good on that. And and then we made sure, another thing is we used real amps, which is like a non-negotiable with our band. We're old school. We don't
what is it? We're cropping you right now. Is it a trusty 5150? Is that what the
so we used we used multiple setups. We used like 3 or 4 different overdrives mixed with different heads. So I think we used like a 6505 plus, we used a 5150. We used, and then we used an Emperor cab, which is dope. Emperor cabs are local to Chicago. They're
okay.
Yeah, and they're oversized, so they're just like, dude, they're super sick looking. And so we used the oversized Emperor cab, 6505, 5150, and just a bunch of overdrives. But yeah, that was like a big thing. We wanted to make sure the guitars were, you know, crispy, and you know, I'm a guitar player, obviously, so. But
but it's easier, you know, people can say these things, but then, you know, ultimately you got to have the people that are able to execute on it, that see the vision. You've got to have good taste when it comes to it too. You know, there's all a whole
100. So yeah, and I mean the writing process is kind of funny too, because I think we started writing these songs like beginning of last year. So it was just, it was more so is, like I said, the focus originally was to do some music, and then all of a sudden we took a show out of nowhere. Like literally went from planning on not a show in sight, and all of a sudden we agreed to it, and then it's like, all right, we have 2.5 months. And at that point, I had not even shown any of them how to play the old music. Like literally we were just writing new music. Like we started jamming, and it wasn't like I taught them Eat the Gun, I taught them the tracks, we played the old stuff. Like literally just came in, set up, or like, all right, let's start riffing, like, you know, let's just mess with something. So that's like how that happened. And then so yeah, when we took that show, I'm like, man, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna learn Eat the Gun and Divine Intervention. And then they're like, no, we don't want to have enough music. We need. I was like, oh shit. I was like, I have to remember Envy and Things to Do in Denver and You're Dead. And that was like, I'm not gonna lie, the fact that I remember those songs, like,
yeah, kudos to you.
That's how I feel, dude. I mean, seriously, and some of those riffs, I play them now and I go, I couldn't write that now. That's crazy. And that's why I still, like, I'm still shocked we wrote that stuff when we were 16. Like, dude, there's sweep picking in there. There's like solos. There's like some of the, like,
what have I done?
Yeah. Well, not in,
it's like
dude,
a message
man.
To your future self, but in the worst way possible.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
like giving yourself a hard task 20 years down the line.
Yeah. Oh yeah, trust me. And then what sucks too is, like, a guitar player used a whammy bar on like a lot of our stuff. So I'm like, shit. And then you know, so like literally our first show, that show, our bass player Kevin, he has an old guitar. He has one of his old guitars. It's got a Floyd Rose, so he brought it to practice. So all of a sudden, now I'm trying to learn dive. Like, I've never used a Floyd Rose in my life, and now I'm trying to learn how to do dive bombs. I'm trying to learn how to do because there's parts in the songs that just stop, and it's just it's just like some dive shit going on. So now I got to try it. So yeah, dude, it was stressful, but it was like the week leading up to the show, dude, we were locked in. So I was hyped. It was pretty.
Boz hadn't done vocals like at all, right? Am I crazy since then?
No, dude, literally. So Boz, Boz literally hadn't done vocals since Jerome, 2007. He did some hip hop and rap stuff in his new life in between, which may he's been talking about putting those out. Maybe I can convince him. He's got some. There we go. He's got some trap stuff and some crazy stuff.
I think people would be curious to hear for what it's worth.
Yeah.
So it's different.
I remember there was something about you guys wanting to be like more practiced as a band before having Boz come in and practice with you guys. Like, what was that all about? I just remember that thing like being a part of the conversation.
Yeah, so you know what? I totally didn't even, I forgot about that, to be honest. So essentially, so like I said, we were writing new music, and basically Boz was just checking in with me every couple of practices. He's like, you know, how's it? I was like, oh, we got, you know, one song started, got half another song. And, you know, I've just, more or less, it's kind of something we've done since back in the day, but if it was more so like, you know, the less cooks in the kitchen type of situation, like, you know, it's sometimes just having too many people at practice isn't a good thing. And it can become just a little confusing. So more or less,
honest, you didn't want him to teach
no.
a guitar.
Oh yeah, right. No, I love Oz, and so but that's what's funny
Let
too
me write
is
a
that
drum beat real quick. Hey, you can do it all.
Yeah. He eat the guns, all him. We didn't do anything. So no, so that's what's weird too is I hadn't seen Boz since 2007, basically, like from since he came to the first practice last year. Not even that, he met me at my house and he's like, can I ride with you? And I'm like, oh yeah, for sure. So I was just like, man, really going from 15 plus years of not seeing each other. It's all of a sudden just in my car and we're driving. I'm like, this is crazy. And, yeah, so that just kind of essentially we just more or less wanted him to chill, and I wanted to get these guys on deck first, you know what I mean? Kind of figure out what our sound was going to be, figure out what our next move was going to be, and then so then we took the show, and once we took the show, then I'm like, all right, Boz, here's the deal. Give me 2-3 weeks to get all the old songs down, everybody good, and then we'll bring you in, and then we'll start doing the thing. So sure enough, it probably took like a solid month to get the old stuff down, which is crazy because I had to sit in my room and I literally had to comb through the songs and I had to okay, I got this part. Yeah. Go. And what's crazier is like I told you, original drum is in drop B. So now I'm having to change my tuning to practice to the old songs, and then I'm gonna have to have another guitar in drop A so I can practice NV or Things to Do or Eat the Gun and Divine Intervention. So it was quite a feat. And then now to add to that, I literally just had to relearn all the Monsters stuff too. Literally this year, dude, I've had to learn 2 full sets from 2 bands that I didn't play the songs for 15 plus years.
Would you say, because when you were talking about Jerome, you said I wouldn't write that now and stuff like that. When you're revisiting Monster, is it a similar feeling, or maybe it's closer to what you would write in terms of riff, or is that just kind of the same situation?
That's a funny question because I think I transitioned into that style of music for so much longer that I kind of got more comfortable playing in more of that bouncy kind of break that kind of style. So to be honest, writing Monster type stuff would still come super natural to me. That's because I think you can kind of hear some of it in I think it's Emperor of Torment. There's the metal. There's a noodly riff towards the end, and it's very, to me, it's very Monsters-esque, but it's way heavier. Because Monsters was in drop A sharp. So that yeah.
You're good. Another tuning for the practice. Yeah.
Yeah.
You should also write another song in drop C and then another one in drop D, just so you have all the tunings. I was just about to say, because that's a conversation that me and Dom had quite a few times on here, which is that sure, there was the gent era, but you guys in Monster did it, at least in my opinion, in a very tasteful and heavier way. It's not, I wouldn't compare it to what came afterwards. You can definitely see some influences maybe in other things afterwards, but I remember when Monster came out and people who's watching this, it was early to do that kind of stuff. It was quite early to release a bouncy release like that and stuff, but because of course 4 years later everybody was just releasing that. But still to this day, you did it in I don't know, just a different way. It sounds unique and heavy, and I've never heard something that really sounds like that. So there's something to be said about that, I think.
Yeah, and I'll bring it. That's same thing with Jerome, but it was more so we basically just took our favorite parts from all of our favorite types of music. So it's like Jerome is like Divine Intervention is just a metalcore riff in the middle of no, like it just pops up out of nowhere. And at the time there was no question, it was just sound sick. Like yeah, like that's sick. And then it goes into like the heaviest breakdown. And so I think that was like the key to it. And because like I've had some really like promising bands get ruined like in the last decade that I've been trying to do music, and it was because we can't do this because it sounds deathcore. We can't do this because it sounds gent. We can't do this because it sounds, and yeah, it ruins it. So yeah, I think that's why Monsters hit like it did, was because I had the Jerome, heaviness, but then I think at that time, that was like when Bulb, so Misha from Periphery was Bulb at the time, and he had just instrumental music on like a SoundCloud.
SoundCloud, yeah.
Yeah, and literally like that was like, I remember we were sitting at somebody's house and we put it on and we're like, what in the world is that? Like, that was like all of a sudden you're hearing the twangy stuff, you're hearing the, the super choked up, like, of course, in
early stuff was heavy as fuck. Because people, if you just hear Periphery and you think of Periphery now, it's like a different thing. But like the early, the SoundCloud like Bulb stuff was like genuinely heavy as fuck.
Yeah, it was absolutely nasty. So I think it was like hearing that, and then also we grew up with Veil and Boo around here, and then not only that, they used to throw like Robot Mosh Fest up in like Michigan or whatever, and that would be like After the Burial, Veil of Maya, Boo, like basically just like the heyday bands of like that that time. And like Veil was a big influence for us too. Like Mark, the guitar player, like he he's, everybody knows him around here, and
Gifted.
He's amazing, dude. And like what's so cool about him is like, dude, he still rocks. He rocks with all the local homies still. Like he's the man. So that's why it's super cool to see him like flourishing, dude, and do his thing, man, kill it. So yeah, I think that honestly helped. And so yeah, man, I don't know, just lucky, random.
Well, yeah, but
No,
I mean,
I'm just
we're
being
talking about
sarcastic.
Monsters, so maybe we could. I mean, I think it would be a great moment to maybe talk about how it started, or I know you talked a little bit about it, but
let's not do, just for the sake of time. We can't get into a full deep dive of.
No, you're good. You're good.
We'll have to have you back on, my man, to talk some more Monsters, because it is.
Let me tell you, I didn't know we were talking about that. It's a good sign, Ben. It's a really good sign. I didn't know it was that time.
We're hitting the cutoff.
Yeah. But I mean, look, we have to have you back on to talk more about Monsters. We can maybe end land the plane with maybe some I don't know, maybe if you got a few, like, so you said you had some tour stories or some stuff from being on the road with Monsters and stuff like that. Yeah, you got anything that comes to mind? And I've got some little rapid fire stuff we can truly end it off with afterwards. Ask some questions.
We're gonna do another episode about Monsters specifically.
If you guys, I mean, you guys should definitely, if you want to have Frankie on, man, should definitely. He's Frankie, man, best like unreal frontman. I can tell you right now, any band that Frankie has been in has just been fucking like, dude, he kills it.
Extremely unique too.
Cold Below has been cool to follow.
The drummer of Cold Below is actually the original drummer of Oceano, or drummer of Jerome and Oceano and everything. So so tour story, man, that's the whole thing in itself. But man, we played in Pennsylvania the same night that The Situation from Jersey Shore was he was promoting at a DJ like club upstairs. So they have
the same venue.
Yeah.
Okay.
They literally and it sucks because I went to go.
Crowds.
Yeah. I went to go hang out with some fans, like some people, you know, like, cause that was the best part about tour, dude. You meet friends, and then next time you come through, you see them again, you see them, whatever. So I'm out with some people, and I come back, and they got a picture with them. I'm like, what the fuck? And then, oh man, dude, listen, we'll get back into that. That's too long. You want to do your rapid fire thing? We can do that. That'll.
All right. Let's well, wait. Let's just touch on touch on
yeah, whatever you ask me. Put me on track.
So what was you briefly mentioned the Canada tour
Yes.
you did with what, Blind Witness and Godfalls? Was that just the trio?
Oh man, you know what? No, I feel like there was somebody else. But so what was weird about that tour is it was set up by our manager. So I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but well, I'm sure you are. Our manager was Frankie Palmieri, the singer of Amir. Yeah, so he essentially.
Oh right. Monsters like signed to his label and stuff, right?
Yes, yeah. We were gonna be like his flagship band, and that whole story is crazy, dude. I think he hit us up on Facebook or something and was just like hit me up, and I'm like, what? And yeah, long story, but yeah, so man, all right, what was the question again? Sorry, I'm getting tired.
I'm just curious if you have any stories from that.
Canada. So Canada was awesome, dude. I'll tell you right now, the funniest thing I'll tell you is, so we went to go eat pizza and stuff after in Montreal, and somebody's like, try dipping your french fries in like mayonnaise or some shit, you know? And we're like, oh yeah, we're in another country, like, you know, fuck it. You know, so we did it, and we're like, this is the best thing ever. This must be like some French Canadian mayonnaise that's like the best thing. And we look over, and it's like a bottle of like the same shit in the US.
Yeah.
And just the fact that we were in Montreal, like at 19, having the time of our life, like, it was placebo effect. We immediately were just like, dude, this stuff is insane. So like that happened a lot. We would just like, we get poutine, dude, the shittiest poutine, and we're all like, this is amazing. Like, holy shit, cheese curds and fries. Like, no way. Yeah. So Canada, to be honest, was a blast. And it was weird too, because I think we showed up during some like summit, like between the nations or something. There was some like G20 summit or something going on. So there was a bunch of like military and like crazy shit. Like we were playing the show, and some guy came up to us and told us that people were writing our license plates down, and we're like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, it was pretty trippy. Like, cause we got beeped at a lot. They saw those American plates and were not happy. I don't know. Yeah, but we crossed through Windsor into so Windsor, Ontario, and we played, I think, in Ontario. We played at a bar, and then we played Underworld in Montreal. We went to Foofs. So, you know, I know what's up with Foofs. To be honest, the shows were awesome. We played some really big theater in Montreal that was like actually like a really sick, like big venue. And that's when I remember hearing God Falls for the first time, and I was like, oh damn, they rip. And then and Blind Witness, we of course.
Well, it would have been a Montreal show for Blind Witness was probably fucking awesome for sure.
Oh,
at
man.
At that time specifically, like they were drawing. I mean, even more so now somehow, but back then it was like the thing.
Yeah, they killed it, and it was cool too because it felt like we were kind of getting taken around by royalty. You know what I mean? Like we're in good hands. You know, like they're gonna take care of us, and so yeah, it was sick. And then we played a YMCA too, like in some little random like town in outside of Montreal. That was funny. And yeah, dude, it was awesome. The shows were really good. The fans are super receptive where you guys are from. Feel like down here it can just be a little cutthroat sometimes. But there we really didn't seem to have any issues. I think we ended up having... Oh, there was supposed to be somebody else on it. I think American Me was supposed to be there. I'm not sure if you ever heard of them. Because yeah, those are my boys. I love them. But they were original. Blind Witness was actually supposed to cross over and continue with us, and they bailed. I don't remember why exactly, but I think it might have been...
They just didn't like you guys.
Probably, to be honest.
Just like,
dude,
you know, they're
I just
shipping
remember
with mayonnaise and French fries.
Oh
like,
my god! I remember the guitar player though. He ended up starting Obey the Brave with Alex, right? Man, I can't remember his name. The guitar player though. He was in Blind Witness. He cut his hair. I remember he had long hair, and then when he started Obey the Brave, I was like, oh, that's yeah, because I just remember I was like, man, they're like the Canadian As I Lay Dying. That's like basically what we were told. And then they had that, didn't they do a cover song?
A Blind Witness? They did the Backstreet's Back.
Yes, they did Backstreet Boys. Yeah, so that put them on huge. And then the Tabernacle thing, like in America, I can tell you that, like, yeah, that was a pretty big thing. And yeah, and then I was I was telling him I actually played with a band in All Ships in Montreal.
What?
Yeah, and that was crazy too, because I remember like going up to the show. Everybody's like, "Dude, there's this band on the show tonight," and they're on MTV, and they're and everyone's like, "Well," I'm like, "What the fuck is happening?" I'm like, "We're playing with." Is MTV gonna be here? Like we all got excited. Wasn't that cool? But they were super cool dudes, from what I remember, and. Yeah, I think they were riding like a wave at that point off the MTV thing, and then they were
the thing for a minute.
Yeah, they were pretty popping, and dude. And then I actually shout out, Nick, and I'm trying to remember their names. They're twin brothers. They're actually from Montreal. And they were in a band called like Turn from Praise, or
As They Turn from Praise,
bro. The drummer and his brother, they're twins, Nick, and I'm so sorry I can't remember his brother's name right now. I became super good friends with them the first time I went to Canada, and then I kept in touch with them, and every time I went back I made sure I could get them into the shows. But As They Turn from Praise, they actually played the show in Montreal. That's how I met them.
That's dope.
And I made
to
point.
Dom, their vocalist, is a fucking goated vocalist. That's awesome. Really fucking sick.
That's what's cool is I always made it a point, especially that it was our first time in another country. I always went up to every band that opened or local bands or whatever, and I'd introduce myself and tell them, sick set, and they did a good job, and that's how I became friends with those dudes. They were super cool.
That's so
awesome.
Yeah,
dude. Go wrong by doing that.
What'd you say?
You cannot go wrong by being
nice. Not at all. There was actually there was a promoter too at the time who was helping us out. I think his name was like Dave Boucher.
Yeah, that's the booker here in Extensive for Montreal. Yeah.
Is he's still doing his thing?
He's still booking. Yeah, dude. The last time I spotted him, I was at a show in. Dude. I was at it was a Chelsea Grin Signs of the Storm show. Yeah. Big ass fucking venue, and he's like in the balcony, like in the lodges, like alone, and he's like sitting there like sleeping. He's just like waiting, and I'm just like, dude, this dude's been doing this thing for like 30 years at this point, like he's just been doing it. But yeah, he's always been he used to manage bands a little bit too, and he was also really big into, he wasn't just booking for the sake of booking. He was trying to he was the man. Make bands like kind of grow outside of the city and stuff too, and connect people.
Yeah, he put us up at his house in Montreal. He was really cool. Yeah, super super cool. And I think we actually saw him again later in like we played New England Hardcore Metal Fest in Boston, and I think he was there. So yeah, we ran into him again. But yeah, super small world. It's crazy how many like deep cut kind of Canadian gems I'm bringing up that you guys know about. That's wild.
Yeah. I mean,
I feel like
it's more wild for us. You're bringing this stuff up, but these are all people from our city, so it's like it's more.
That's what I was about to say. Is I feel like I'm in the know, dude. I'm like I know some shit. I'm like, that's crazy. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, so Canada was awesome. I hope I can do something there again. That'd be dope.
Let me tell you something. If you come here with Jerome, we'll definitely be there. We'll definitely be there. That's a promise.
If not, we'll try our hardest to make it to Vermont. So
we go. That's what I told them, because I was like, bro, if you don't want to cross state lines, I'm good with a little Vermont show.
Yeah, that's what he told
No,
us.
but I say this, but literally no. I always wish like, okay, if a tour package isn't gonna hit Canada, if they at least do Vermont, but nah, no one ever does. So I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. But
yeah, I won't even lie. I remember it was funny when we played in Vermont. A fan actually started jumping one of them. Like, I guess some of the members of the tour package were moshing, and one of the fans started jumping one of the guys from Dr. Acula, and it turned into a whole thing, man. All of a sudden we were outside, and it was fun, you know. It was good times, man.
Experiences.
Yeah, for sure. You know, getting paid $5 a day, sleeping with 6 dudes in a van. It's the best.
McDonald's.
Yeah, oh yeah. And that's,
on a lucky day.
I was gonna say that's big. That's a big meal right there, man. That was at the time.
Anything more than ramens, man, is like
You sold a lot
raw.
of merch if you're eating McDonald's, basically.
Dude, yeah. No, man. Yeah, we would just hope and pray there'd be some pizza at the venue at that time.
Right.
It was like,
Pizza again for a 14th day in a row. Bet, man. We'll take it. We'll take
hot and ready's, dude. $5. We'll take care of you. Not anymore. 10 years ago.
Not anymore, man. None of the 444s are gone. Like all the fucking value menu at McDonald's. I mean, kind of still a thing, but you know, it's like,
barely, dude.
Barely. I don't know if you can call it value anymore.
I just come to the conclusion if I'm gonna buy food, I'm spending close to $20 no matter what I do. It's just
that was pretty crazy. Just the other day, like, I don't know, it's been a while since I went to, because I'm like a healthy eater. It's pretty rare I go in fast food and shit, but like I went back and it's been a while, and my friend is like, so what do you want to order? And I'm just like, I'm gonna take 2 burgers and this thing, and the person's just like, okay, so it's $37. And I'm like, I mean, I was just like, oh shit, I just took 2 burgers. She's like, yeah. Oh, okay, okay, good. Thought it was like a mistake or something. I'm like, I don't think, but
you're like, I'm gonna go back to eating healthy.
Yeah, I'm just like,
but also it's just as expensive to eat healthy,
it's
which
worse,
it's worse because
but the expectation of eating junk would have been that it would have been cheaper, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah, exactly.
Surprise when it's not.
Yeah,
but
that's
make more sense, right? Like back then, you would go to McDonald's seriously, and you could at least have a few burgers for not much. Like, it would be very easy.
Yeah,
Nowadays,
$5 would go a long way, but no, it's like you said, a Big Mac trio is like $20 now.
$5. They're just like, is that tip or something? Like, what do you want to do with that? Like, are you buying like a straw maybe?
Yeah, man, it's
different times.
Let's do some quick rapid fire.
All right.
Before we let you go here. So the first question that came in, because I put up a thing on Instagram earlier, so I've got a bunch of people that wrote some stuff in. The first one that came in is a Jerome reunion possible in our lifetime?
Maybe.
Okay, there we go.
It is possible. Yeah.
We touch on a lot of these things, so I just got to sift through. Okay, so give us your top 5 deathcore bands. Past or present, whatever it is.
Tough one.
All right, yeah, that's a very tough one. All right, well, I mean, obviously Whitechapel, Impending Doom, Suicide Silence, Despised Icon. Oh man, it's always the last one, right?
Yeah.
See, but this is a funny question to me, dude, because like I said, the whole deathcore term, like there's a lot of bands like I would kind of lump in there that a lot of people wouldn't consider. Oh man, OG Through the Eyes of the Dead.
Hell yeah. Okay.
There
we go.
Super sick.
Can you give us like a quick top 3 maybe underrated Chicago bands, whatever the style?
Ooh.
Oh man, that's
okay. Look, we don't even have to do like a list. Just give me one badass recommendation, an underrated Chicago band. Again, past or present. It could be like something that was short-lived.
Past or present, dude.
Yeah.
So you want to talk this? I was just talking about them earlier today because the the drummer hit me up and was like giving me praise for the new Jerome, which I told him was like such a big compliment, because I told him I hold him high on my Mount Rushmore of like metal musicians. And so basically there was a band called Two Man Is Hope back in the early 2000s, dude. They were like, if they would have kept going, they would have been the next like August Burns Red. You know what I mean? Like they were at 16, dude, they were unbelievable. Like Monsters went on tour. We went on a mini tour with them, our first time ever going on the road. We drove like 12 hours to fucking North Dakota and played for like 20 people in a just awful like art studio that had like unleveled floors, so all of our gear was like sitting on an angle, and it was messed up. But dude, and then we played in Iowa, in Des Moines, which is where Slipknot's from. So I remember being super hyped that day. I was just like, Slipknot. I was like, wonder if they're gonna show up. They didn't come. But the bass player for the Fallen Dreams at the time showed up though to that show in Iowa, because that's where he's from. And this band was so sick, dude, Two Men Is Hope, that he literally didn't give a shit about Monsters, and he was like praising the hell out of them, and literally was like, you guys need a place to stay, like, you know, like, and he wanted to put them on. And I tell you right now, they were literally like my favorite band, man. And I don't think you can find it anywhere, which is unfortunate.
You have to try. You have to at least try.
I'll, you know what? I'll send it to you guys somehow. I still talk to the guitar player, so I can get it. Yeah,
please do. Please do. I'd be curious.
Sick, though. Yeah, for sure. But right now, I'd say check out Chaosphere. Not even just because my band members are in that band, but they're, to be honest, like that type of heavy music isn't super relevant right now in Chicago anymore. Chicago right now, like there's a big focus on hardcore was like real popping for a minute, and then now it's like DIY, dude. DIY shows are like the biggest thing right now. Like 200 cap like basements, you know, like in like with no address, you have to get like a text message the day before. It's like that's like the shit right now. So that's why cool. I say, it is dope. That's why I say Chaosphere though, because they're super heavy, and it's I think it's super original.
Their whole aesthetic is really fucking cool. I love the kind of Y2K like kind of thing, like grungy thing that they've got going on, like I don't know how you'd call it. It's like not futuristic, but what we would have imagined futuristic was in the year 2000. I don't know. It's a cool vibe. I love what they're doing.
It's like the Matrix, dude, for sure. I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, man. Okay. Last one here. Have you been tapped into the revival scene at all? Because you guys have been like super lumped in with this whole scene, despite being like you guys aren't a new band, but it's been like super celebrated and stuff. Have you been keeping up with any of it?
To be honest, more so recently I've been getting into it, just so I'm conscious of what's going on around me with with deathcore and just with music in general. But like shout out, like the In Which Divide Us guys, Divides Us, freaking like the Katie guys from Texas, like Victim Blamed, all these young dudes are. It's super cool because I remember being in that position, and it really is. It's like that. It's that 16, 17 going on 18, dude, is like it can be such a big jump in your music, you know, which I said, if all these guys are doing what they're doing now at like 17, like give it 2 more years. And all these bands are going to be the next wave, which is awesome. And, to be honest, one of those bands I've been banging pretty hard right now, they're called Mauled from Indiana.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we love Mauled, man. Mauled are fucking sick as fuck.
Yeah, Mauled's super sick. I talk to those dudes like pretty frequently, and we've been wanting to do something with them for sure. I think they're very sick, and like I love their whole vibe too, with like everybody having long hair. I think that's a super throwback. they'll get over it eventually, dude, because long hair is it's sick, but it's high maintenance, Dom.
Well, I mean, look, I'm looking at a guy right now that's had short hair, long hair, short hair, long hair, short hair, long hair. You seem to juggle the two pretty well.
Because, dude, it's like every 2 years I have like a midlife crisis, and first thing I do is the hair goes, and we gotta restart. And to be honest, I only grew my hair back out because I knew I had some shows coming up. I'm
there
like,
we go. Had to do it.
Yeah, we'll go, headbang a little bit. And then, so, yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Well, dude, thank you so much, man, for doing this. This was a lot of fun, man. This was,
I know, I just
cool to finally have you on, man.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry I was rambling, going back and forth, but it's a lot to talk about.
That's what we're here for, dude. It's called the podcast, but man, that's
good, good. Oh,
we
yeah.
go where the conversation is going, and it was awesome. And we're gonna have to talk about monsters more eventually. But it was, dude,
sure.
It's a really good sign. If we don't see the time at all and it just goes by, usually something cool was going on. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, and also genuinely though, congrats on the success and on the new music and getting Monsters with the reunion show and all this stuff. I feel like right now is must be a pretty exciting time for you, but for us as fans, it's really fucking cool to see too. 2025. I mean, look, I didn't have any of this shit on my bingo card, so we're pleasantly surprised, man. It's been cool.
Hell yeah, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, I can give Yan some props here. He was definitely a instrumental part in this happening. It's funny because I got a text message from my buddy, and he's like, man, I just watched this video. This guy was talking about Jerome. And that's what started it, because then I left him a comment. I said, appreciate it. And then he's like, oh, if you ever want to, and I said, sure. And then that's
trick. It was a trick, actually. I don't remember if I told you that before you leave, but I swear to God, I wanted to do a video about Jerome. I had no information, and in my mind, I was just like, I'm gonna do a review. Who knows? Maybe. Yeah. And you commented, and I was like, there we go. That's the beginning of it. I was like, the video's happening, and then I punished you for hours because we had to talk for the video.
Yeah, exactly.
What's its name?
Its name is Peanut.
Peanut.
Great name.
Hell yeah.
Peanut is chilling.
She's basically been on my feet this entire time. She's
the feet warmer.
She's getting ignored. Look at her. She's like,
no, she's the real star of the podcast.
Well, man, I appreciate it big time. And when I sent it to you guys and you guys were hyped, that was like, dude, you guys gave me so much.
Dom told me just click play and you'll see, and I was just like, okay.
Yeah,
that it means like there's no way on earth that you won't enjoy this. That was
and that was what's it called? That's what it was funny because I right away I told him, I was like tell Jan, I want to know what he thinks. Like,
dude, and that's what I had in mind. I was just like, it felt like you never left. Just feels like that's that's your own. I think that's the biggest compliment I can give to.
Oh, definitely. Totally.
It's insane. Like, and you see people reaction, right? People are just super, super hype.
Yeah, man. Super blessed, super happy about it. And yeah, hopefully, 2026 is coming up and we're talking about things and hopefully do some cool stuff.
I'm sure you will. I mean, both like the entire deathcore scene and the revival specifically, everybody's stoked, right? It's not just like everybody's stoked that you guys are back. Like basically everybody's just like, welcome back. That's the message. So.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. We'll be listening. We'll be watching, and I mean, we'll be talking either way. So
yeah,
appreciate you, my man. And
thank you guys so much.
We'll talk soon, all right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Take care, man.
All right, peace out.
Peace.
If you made it to the end of this episode, thank you for watching. And hey, while you're here, hit that subscribe or follow button and a review. If you're watching or listening on a podcast platform, it would mean the world and it helps out more than you know. A big thank you as well to all of our supporters over on Patreon and on Twitch. New episodes every week, links to our Patreon, Discord, and socials in the description. We'll see you soon. We're out.